Fear the time vampire. Time vampire? What's a time vampire? How do I know one? How do I recognize one? What is a time vampire? And why should I care? Well, you should. Most people think productivity is lost in big, dramatic ways, but it's not. In my experience, usually it disappears in small, unnoticed moments, little chunks throughout the day. A conversation that goes too long, an interruption that breaks focus, or a quick chat that quickly turns into half an hour. Ever have one of those? You feel drained. Where did my time go? And by the time you return to what mattered, your momentum is gone. Where was I? What was I doing? We've all been there, right? That's the dangerous part that people underestimate. Losing time is frustrating, but losing momentum, now, that's expensive. Because once your focus breaks, it takes time and energy, that's right, time, to rebuild it. It takes time to get back into rhythm. Just think about this. Over days, weeks, and years, those repeated interruptions, they become huge. And they shape a lot of outcomes that you get judged on. Most people never notice it happening. But if you know how to see a time vampire and what to do when you see one, well, let's talk. My name is Brian Dance. I've spent more than 30 years working in business, leadership, and high-performance environments. And one thing I've seen quite a bit is that the people who protect their time from time vampires intentionally almost always outperform those who allow interruption and distraction to control their day. Hello and welcome back to The Long Way Forward. This is episode 39. It's great to have you with me. Today, as I said, we're going to talk about something I call a time vampire. Now, a time vampire isn't a scary thing with a cloak, by the way. It could be a person, it could be an activity, it could be a pattern of behavior that takes your time without giving much value back in return. A time vampire. And more importantly, time vampires, unmanaged interruptions, quietly destroy progress. Have you felt that? I know I've felt it. I've encountered it so many times, and yep, sometimes it's a person, sometimes it's something I do. Before we go any further though, if this series is helping you think differently or giving you practical things you can use, take a moment to like or subscribe or share. It helps more people find the podcast and helps us, help each other, fending off time vampires. Now, let's define what a time vampire is. It is anything that repeatedly consumes time without creating meaningful value in return. It's really important that you recognize this. If you want to maximize your performance, understand the concept of a time vampire. Anything that consumes time repeatedly without creating meaningful value in return. As I said, sometimes it's an activity. Scrolling. Social media is terrible at this. Pointless meetings where someone babbles on without an agenda. Disorganized tasks. Constant switching, constant context switching, moving goalposts. So today, though, I'm going to focus on the most difficult category of time vampire. Let's get right into it. Yep, it's people. Because people are often the hardest time vampires to manage. Here's an important thing. Most time vampires aren't bad people. Usually they're friendly. They're social, they're engaging. They simply operate with a different relationship to time than you do. They don't understand how you want to spend your time. So they'll spend your time their way. Now, if you don't manage that intentionally, eventually it impacts your productivity. It affects your momentum, your results, and your future. Now let's get rid of the time vampires. Let's make it real. Imagine you're at work. You've planned your day properly. You know what needs to happen and you're at work. You have momentum. Then someone walks over and says, "Hey, you got a minute?" And politely you say yes, but you know immediately this is not going to be 1 minute. 10 minutes pass, then 20, then 30. And when the conversation finally ends, something important has happened. Your focus is broken. The thing you needed to get done is delayed. The energy is gone and your rhythm disappears. That matters more than most people will ever realize. You feel the frustration. You're feeling me? I know. I know you're there. I've been there far too many times. Protect your time. Let's find out why. Let's work out how. Let's imagine how a time vampire can strike. It's outside of work. It's school drop-off. You're running errands. Daily life. You're on a timeline. You've got things to do, places to be. Then someone starts an unplanned conversation. Friendly, casual, social. Suddenly, you're behind schedule. Stressed, rushing, and reactive for the rest of the day. You've been bitten by a time vampire. That's the cost. Here's the key idea on how to deal and recognize a time vampire, how to deal with them. Because they don't just consume minutes. Time vampires consume momentum. And that, my friends, is one of the most valuable things you have. As I've said before, once momentum grows, progress goes, nothing happens. Here's a quick pause. Pause for thought. Only be a minute. Oh, time vampire. Think about your average day honestly. There'll be a point in your day where your momentum will often disappear. Think about it, because you'll know the feeling when it has. It'll be this vague, annoyed feeling. Who are the people or what are the situations that repeatedly consume more time than expected? Think about that. Who are the people or the situations that consume more time than expected? That's your time vampire. Now, if that's landing for you, please drop a comment, because awareness is where change starts. You drop a comment, more people see it, they start thinking about time vampires. It's huge. This is where things become difficult though, because just because you've identified someone as a time vampire, it doesn't mean you can cut them off aggressively. I don't want to talk to you, I'm busy. That's rude. They could be a friend. They could be important. Relationships matter. People matter. Connections matter. Professionalism, courtesy, politeness, it all matters. So dealing with a time vampire should not mean becoming cold or antisocial. It's about becoming intentional. Now that's different. Well, let's talk about, I'm glad you asked, how to manage this properly. How do I manage a time vampire properly? First, you recognize the pattern. Who regularly interrupts your focus? Not occasionally, but repeatedly. So when you know that your focus is going to be interrupted by this person or this person, when you see them coming, you know what to do. That's your signal. Set your boundaries. That's the second thing you need to do, is set boundaries. And you don't need to be rude. They can be simple. Hey, I need to chat, but I've got to finish something first. Or give me 20 minutes and I'll come and find you. Trust me, if what the time vampire had to share with you is important, they'll make time. If not, it wasn't important, but you've got to be polite about how you pass on the message, because what you're doing matters to you. Whatever they want to talk about may not matter. So maybe I'm in the middle of something right now. Let's catch up later. Polite, clear, respectful. Yep, sure, you're busy. I can see that. Thank you. I'll come back. No worries. On your way. Time vampire's gone. Now, here's something important most people overlook. People will respect your time when they see that you respect it yourself. If you always allow interruption, people assume that it's okay to interrupt you. So part of this process is retraining the environment and the people around you. You're training them to not interrupt you. And the third thing you need to do to manage a time vampire is to design your environment intentionally. Some people work from home more often because they recognize that they're more productive without the interruption. It's lonely, but I get a bit more done sometimes. Others create protected focus blocks. They reduce open availability. They create windows for communication instead of permanent access. Now, the open plan office is shocking for this, people. Let me tell you, the open plan office, if it's not managed well, if we're not respectful of each other's time, can be an absolute time vampire. Part of my office is open plan, but all of us work really well together. It's the weirdest thing. Sometimes we'll be talking. Other times, 4 or 5 of us can just be working in our cubicles, getting things done because we respect each other's time. These are high performers. We respect each other's time. Now, if someone respects your time, they will understand that access to you is access to your time, and your time shapes your outcomes. So if people won't respect your requests to manage your time, you have to control their access to you. It's a last resort thing, but sometimes you have to do it. And on time management and time vampires, I share additional leadership and productivity insights over on LinkedIn. So if these ideas resonate, by all means, connect with me there. Now let's go a little bit deeper. You might think this conversation is about avoiding people. It's not. It's just about aligning your time with your priorities, because every minute of your day is a trade. You're always exchanging time for something, whether it's progress, connection, recovery, distraction, entertainment, all of those things. If you're not intentional about those trades, remember, as I said in a previous episode, if you don't decide how you spend your time, someone else will decide for you. They'll work out what your priorities are for you. And again, here's an important balance point, so consider this. Not every conversation is a time vampire, because relationships matter deeply. If someone's important to you, taking a couple of moments each day to say, how are you? You matter to me. That's what you're saying to them. How are you? Connection. It matters deeply too. We're all human. We all value connection. Well, most of us do. I know I do. Sometimes a conversation is absolutely worth the time. That's not the issue. The issue is repeated, unmanaged time loss that pulls you away from where you're trying to go. So the goal isn't isolation. The goal is balance. Knowing when to engage and when to protect your time, that's the key. So if we're talking people who are time vampires, we know who our time vampires are. We know they're coming. We think about, I'm busy. I need to get this and this done. Time vampire inbound. Alert, alert. Will Robinson, time vampire inbound. Prep. Time vampire. Hey, got a minute? Mate, I'm really sorry. I've got to knock this out. It's going to take me at least another half an hour. I'll come and find you when it's done. You won't offend them. Off they go. And you're back in the zone. How good is that? But remember, know who they are. Hey, got a minute? Mate, I'm just in the middle of something. Give me half an hour. I'll come and get you. Does that sound like a script? Does it sound like a recording? I might have practiced it a few times. Just quietly. Here's something for you for tomorrow. Just pay attention to every interruption or every conversation that runs longer than expected. Look out for it. Every interruption, every conversation that runs longer, and those moments where your focus disappears. Notice it. If you're feeling brave, write it down discreetly. Don't judge it. This is not about judgment. Just observe it. Then ask yourself, was it worth the trade? And some of them absolutely will be. And those are the ones to note. If it wasn't worth the trade, do I need to set a boundary? And if I do, what sort of boundary should I set? What would improve my outcome for next time? Hey, mate, got a minute? Oh, sorry, mate, I'm just in the middle of something. It'll take me about half an hour. I'll come and get you. come and see you? We'll get a coffee then? Done. That's respectful. It's truthful. I'm busy. Sorry, I'm just protecting my time at the moment. I'm not going to tell you that, though, because that would be rude. Mate, I'll come and get you. I need another half an hour. Is that okay? If it's really urgent, they'll tell you, but most of the time, they're just passing time. Think about that phrase, passing time. Now remember, you do that over and over again, those small adjustments will create massive results for you. Now, in closing, I need to say that time vampires exist everywhere. At work, in social environments, everyday life. And most of the time, these are not evil people. They are not intentionally trying to waste your time. So this is not about blame. It's about responsibility. And the responsibility is yours. It is your responsibility to protect your time intentionally. No one else will. Remember, if you don't decide how to spend your time, someone else will decide for you. Now, your time drives your progress. And if you don't manage it, what happens? No progress. So in closing, if this episode gave you something useful that you can apply, please take a moment to like, subscribe, comment, or share the episode, because progress is not about doing more. Sometimes it's about protecting what already matters most. This is the Long Way Forward podcast. Thank you so much for listening or watching, and I hope to see you again in future episodes. Thank you.